Hey friends, today I have a little tutorial for you. I'm going to be creating a Matchbox suitcase. So I've seen a bunch of ladies creating these cute little suitcases and Matchbox suitcases. And then I think her channel is Bambi Deer. She did a double tiered Matchbox suitcase, and I was inspired by her to create mine. So my measurements are different than her measurements, but I was totally inspired by her to do this. So I will link her video in the description box for her smaller suitcase if you're interested. I just made mine a little bit longer than hers. Hers was shorter, and I wanted mine to be a little bit longer to have a little bit of more room in it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some paper. You could cut your outer piece out in just white cardstock and then mat it with pattern paper, or if you have a heavier duty paper, this is 110 pound, I believe. If you have a heavy duty paper, this is a digital collection, then you could use that, and I've printed mine double-sided, so you could use that. So your outer piece measures 6 by 11, so you could definitely use 8.5 by 11 sheets for this, or your 12 by 12. So go ahead, you are going to need an outer piece. You're going to need paper for 2 boxes. You're going to need paper for your 2 straps and a piece of paper for your handles. So you could make your straps and handles out of the scraps that you have left over, or a different pattern than what you need, or whatever you would like. And then you're going to need some type of adhesive. You are going to need your paper trimmer, some scissors. I'm using my bone folder, and I'm also using my EK Tools scoreboard. So go ahead and grab all your supplies, and let's get started. So for your outer part of your match box, you are going to need a piece that measures 6 by 11. So I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use the really pretty floral pattern. I also have the fun polka dots as well. So 6 by 11. So my paper is already 11 because it's 8.5 by 11. And then I'm going to cut it to 6. And then see, I have this piece here. Now your straps need to be 12 inches long. You are going to cut a little bit off of that, so I'm going to try to use my 11-inch piece here and see what happens on the video today. But like, I could use this piece as my straps. So I'm going to set this aside. So you have your outer piece 11 by 6. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my boxes as well. So you'll need 2 of the boxes measuring 5 by 7 and 7/8. So I'm going to use this really fun ice cream pattern, and my boxes are going to go in like this. So I'm going to make this 7 and 7/8. And I have some extra here for like my handle. And then we're going to do 5. And so here is my first box, 5 by 7 and 7/8. And then I have this scrap of the beach ball and the pretty rainbow. And I'm hoping it is 5. Yes. Okay, awesome. So cut this 5 and 7 and 7/8. So we have our outer piece and our 2 boxes. So then for our straps, you need 2 pieces that measure a 1/2 inch by 12. So I think I'm going to use this piece. We're going to try out the 11 inch piece. So we need it to be 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut 2 of those. So I've got my straps, 1/2 inch by 12, or this is by 11. And then we need to do our handle. I think I'm going to do the handle on the fun pink, and then that needs to be 1 by 6 for your handle. And we're just going to get all of these pieces cut out, and then we can work on our scoring. So 1 by 6 for your handle. And then you could save your other pieces here for some other projects. So we are done with our scoreboard. We're done with our paper trimmer. Now let's go ahead and score. So, excuse me, for the outer piece, you are going to score on the 11 inch side at 1, 3, 6, and 8. If you are doing plain cardstock like this and you want to mat your pieces, then your pattern paper would measure 2 7/8 by 5 7/8, and you'll need 2 of those, and you'll need 2 of the 1 7/8 by 5 7/8. But if you're already doing a pattern paper, you can ignore that. So let's go ahead and get our outer piece, and we are going to score on that 11 inch side at 1, 3, 6, and 8. And this is going to be your outer piece. So we are done with this one. And let's go ahead while we have our scoreboard and score our boxes. So for your boxes, you need the 2 pieces that measure 5 by 7 7/8, and then you are going to score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So just super easy to make your boxes. Score at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So we have our score lines, and let me do the other piece really quick. Okay, and then the last thing you need to score is your handle that measures 1 by 6, and we are going to score that at 3/4 of an inch on each side. So just score at 3/4, rotate, and score at 3/4. And that will make your handle here. So we are done with the scoreboard, so you can put that away. And let's go ahead and start building our box. So for the handle, you just fold your pieces. Just go ahead and fold and burnish your handle here. And then to make it curved, I like to take my bone folder and sort of loosen up the paper here, make it more of a curve shape, and then you'll be able to add your handle down like so. So you can set that aside and pull out your outer piece. Let's start working on that. Again, let's fold and burnish all of our score lines. So we have all of our score lines on our outer pieces folded and burnished. So now let's go ahead and build our box. So we are going to want to use this 1-inch piece here. We're going to put our adhesive on here. So you could use wet glue, double-sided tape, hot glue, ATG, whatever you like. I'm going to use this double-sided tape that is acting strange. Let's see what's going on with this. There we go. So I'm just going to add my double-sided tape down. And I think this double-sided tape is from the Dollar Tree. I normally get my double-sided tape off of Amazon, but I am out of that and haven't reordered. So I've just been using what I have here in my craft room, which is the Dollar Tree brand, which is perfectly fine. And then I'm also going to add a tiny bit of wet glue on top of that. So let's add a tiny bit of wet glue on top. You don't have to add a lot, but I like to add a little extra adhesive. And then we're just going to fold down this flap and match it up there with the edge of that score line. Make sure you work on adhering that down nicely. I just like to take my bone folder and kind of run it over the glue. And then I like to kind of work my paper back the other way. And now we have our box. So the part where we added our 1-inch tab, that is going to be the bottom of our box. So this is going to be the top of our matchbook box. So super simple. Love this paper. It's really pretty. This is a Pebbles collection. I think it's called Summer or something like that, but I will link it down below. It's from AC Digitals. So let's move that aside and pull over one of our boxes and start working on our boxes. So I think I'm going to make the cute beach balls be on the inside and the rainbow be on the outside. So go ahead, fold and burnish both of these. Okay, so once we have them folded and burnished, we need to cut out our tabs. So you are going to take your scissors and cut up on the score line here. But I like to go ahead and miter my corners on this side and this side, and I like to cut away that score line. So I'm going to cut to the right of my score line to cut it away. And then I'm going to miter, cut a little triangle out there, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. That just allows the paper, when you fold it in this way, to be hidden and not stick up like that. You see how that is hidden there? So go ahead and let's do one more together. So I'm going to cut this time on the left of the score line all the way up to the score line and release my tab, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut my little triangles out, miter those corners, and then you'll release your tab. So let's do that on both of our boxes. So we have all 4 of our tabs released, and we can start building our box. So I like to go through and double check my tabs to make sure that I don't have anything that needs to have a little bit more trimming done. I think all of these look good. Yes, these all look good. So let's go ahead and build one of our boxes. So we are going to add our adhesive on our little tab. So usually I use my hot glue gun for this, but for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use my double-sided tape and my wet glue. So I'm just going to add a piece of double-sided tape because I did not warm up my glue gun before I started filming. So we are going to use what I have handy. And I'm adding my double-sided tape just so that it'll adhere faster. And we don't have to wait for it to dry with the wet glue. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off all of my little double-sided tape tabs. And we're going to start building our box. So go ahead and add some glue down. And line up your corners. And then I like to take a second when I do that, use my bone folder to make sure my tab is adhered nicely, and move on to the next one. And then you are going to repeat this process with the other tabs and your other box as well. All right, I have both of my boxes built. So we have our little trays for our Matchbox here. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to unfortunately, you're going to need to turn one of them upside down. So your trays would be like that, because they do not stack on top of each other very well. So I had to put this one upside down, so when you are going to be taking something out of your box, just your box will be like this with your handle. So when you take out your trays, I would turn it and then take out this tray and then turn it over and take out this tray. You could add a little extra room and make an acetate cover for this. You would need to make this dimension a little bit wider to allow for that, because this is a really tight fit. But because it's a tight fit, I don't think you're going to have to worry about anything falling out. Let's test it. Let's put some things in here. We'll put some larger things in there, and then let's test putting, I don't think I would just randomly put small things in here. But let's go ahead and put some small things in there and see. Nothing's falling out. So I think this works just fine. Here is that. And so when you go to take the things out on the other side, I would turn it upside down and then pull your box out and take your goodies out. But let's go ahead and add our straps and our handle. So let's test out whether or not our 11-inch straps will fit. So yes, the 11-inch straps will fit all the way around perfectly. So you could cut your straps to half an inch by 11. So let's go ahead and add these down. I'm going to use my wet glue for this, just so I have some wiggle room. And I'm going to add it, I think, by section. Just so I have time to work with it. And we'll bring it around. Try to make it as flush to those corner edges as you can. And pull it across. And try to keep it straight coming across your box so that it will match up. And then we'll add glue to our last little bit here. And if you want to round your corner here on your strap, you could do that as well. Just going to leave mine like so. And then let's go ahead and repeat the same thing with this one. And let's see, I'm just going to roughly not measure and add that. So I need to move it over just a smidge. There we go. I got my strap here a little crooked. I'm going to try to shift it over a little bit. There we go. And we have our strap. So then you can decorate this. You can add some bows, because you don't need this to be a functional strap because we have our sides that pull out. So we can decorate this really pretty with some bows, or you could even some flat backs or something. So it's coming together. And then let's add our handle. So for our handle, you could add this underneath your strap or on top of your strap, but I would use your straps here for your guide. I'm just going to use my hot glue gun, which I've had warming up. So we're just going to use my hot glue to add these down, and then I'm going to try my best to center this in the center of my box here. I'm going to work my glue down into the paper really well. And then we are going to repeat with the other side. Clean up any glue strings. And voila, we have our little Matchbox box put together. So this has been such a long video. I think I'm going to do another video on decorating this so we don't have like an hour-long video. So stay tuned for part 2 and we will decorate this together. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, I will leave Bambi Deer's video on her tutorial linked down below. And I will link any of the tools that I used in today's video down in the description as well. All right, guys, bye.